It's got the same problem of where I live in the Kill Tony Bucket section of town of white homelessness.
You have a lot of complaints.
Didn't research the
Accurate
area
statement.
before I moved in.
Yeah.
I've never saluted a flag ever in my life. And the reason I don't have to is because Jehovah's Witnesses went to the Supreme Court on that. Order of the Rose was just the name of the criminal enterprise they had formed. But they're all members of all these stupid groups. So he's a Freemason and a Rosicrucian. It's not that important, the name of the group at all. What's important is you've got a pyramid structure where people can move up the structure. Each level thinks they know something, but they don't. There's people that know dark that would never use words like illumined or illuminated.
Okay, so just to give you some context, I was homeschooled, grew up in a cult, became the Shiny Happy People cult. It was, it's like a homeschool cult.
Yeah.
They're called that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was technically called the Institute in Basic Life Principles. So it was
The REM songs about them?
Yes.
Okay.
No, not really.
Oh.
But they named the documentary on Amazon Prime Shiny Happy People.
So they nicknamed it that after the REM
Yeah.
song.
Correct. Yeah.
It's
And it's the one the Duggars were in. The 19 Kids and Counting
So it's
People.
Quiverful?
Yes. Quiverful, Joshua Generation, like all that shit.
Because that's a movement within churches and not an
Correct.
actual its own church. So
That's
my
right.
friend Brooke was in that.
Oh, really?
She wanted to cover with
Wait.
that. Yeah.
Brooke,
She's in the documentary.
She's in the documentary. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he's right.
friends with her,
She's
yeah.
been on my podcast, dude.
Yeah, she's a friend of mine.
From New York.
Yeah, but she's from College, Texas, and her family, it's like insane, her story.
College Station?
And that Amazon Prime thing, and I watch it, it made me irritated to watch because you can't tell her nothing. But I was like, don't do your story with them. You don't have to. Anybody from born before a certain date, man, they just can't get over like, oh, I'm going to work with the TV people. So they made it about some like patriarchy, right-wing bullshit when
Yes.
Brooke has some very good, interesting takes on it that they are not interested in, such as
Right.
that Duggar kid
Right.
that got, and I could tell he had some kind of weird prison sexuality from being in this weird cult.
Just watching him, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell that's the kind of shit you read Flowers in the Attic. That's the kind of shit that happens in that.
Yeah. Our guests today are a comedy power couple.
Ew.
Yeah, dude, you are. Bro, that's what you are.
Okay,
not
number
gonna
one,
like that.
I'm a solo comedy. With nothing. I don't help her with shit with comedy.
Yeah, but you're still a couple and you're both powerful.
I'm not that powerful.
In what arena are you talking?
I mean, just,
Oh my God! With one phone call, I could play the Creek in Austin, Texas.
yeah. See, I can't do it, dude.
I mean, I do. I would like to play the Creek. Actually, I should text them. Maybe I can play the Creek. I do like play. I have a good time there.
So not a power couple.
Yeah, no, you got
No,
right.
what the is a power couple?
I don't know, dude. Just, a powerful couple.
Bill and Hillary. We're not that power couple. I don't want.
Yo, I don't endorse or help her.
The most
comedy
hated
at
couple
all.
in
Yeah.
all of comedy,
Yeah.
especially here in Austin, Texas.
That's a better intro.
Kurt Metzger and
No, I would just say
Jenna Sparrow.
Yeah, I've never.
Well, actually, why don't you do the intro, Kurt?
Oh, hi. My name's Kurt, and this is my girlfriend.
That was perfect.
Yeah,
I mean, beautiful.
it's weird to be on together, but
I thought
I
y'all
do
did
her
podcasts.
podcast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Y'all do podcasts together all the time.
yeah, but it's weird to be on. Like, it feels like I'm on what's the rap podcast where the guy?
No jumper.
Yeah, it feels like a. Weird,
Oh wait, no, Lena the Plug
Does
yeah,
she
or
have
Plug
one?
Talk. Plug Talk. Yes, her
She
and
has
Adam
her own
22
podcast?
Yeah, they just
have
as
a podcast
couple
together.
and
Yeah,
talk,
one of my
and
friends
you're
did it, and then
What did they
Yeah.
talk about? Just
like, Cock
nothing
talk?
but-
Is it called cock talk?
that's. I'm pretty sure that's how they refer to it on.
Yo, swinging
On
and,
social media.
swinging and have become the same thing now, I guess, huh?
I think
Kinda
they were
similar.
always the same thing. I think people
It was
convinced
not.
themselves they
I'm
weren't.
against it, dude. I don't like it. I
Okay.
can't do it.
It did not used to be that. It used to be if it's like a gang is two guys and a girl,
Done that.
two or
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Minimum two, I would think.
yeah, it's not a gang unless
Unless
can't
it's a black
walk-
guy that's in a gang, and then it could technically shit. We're gonna have to
Wait,
edit that
hold
out.
on. Wait. No, don't edit that out. That's the most important part of this conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, that could
Wait,
technically
is
be-
Wait, a
philosophically
gang has to be 4 or more people.
But what if a guy
That's
is
Florida
in the gang?
rules.
I'm just
You're
because
talking
otherwise
about
it's a
crazy
3-way.
Florida
It's a
rules.
3-way.
No.
You gotta have 4 or
No,
more.
Devil's
Three-way,
threesome. That is what it's
okay.
called. Two guys and one girl.
You gotta
What I
have 4 or
thought
more
is
for
a
gang.
3-way, is 2 girls, and it was to distinguish between the gay
Okay.
one, which is the gang. I'll tell you a funny ass story though. One time, I was going to the dentist or something. I think my mom took Brooke to the dentist as well.
Okay.
Like, because when I was hanging out with Brooke,
She needed her teeth worked on?
yeah, Brooke's story is so bad shit. It's like she should have her own documentary and not that Amazon Prime one.
Yeah.
Because they really wanted to filter through a political thing and not get to the. Well, shit, I'm sure you know very well.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No, I
They don't
went to
wanna
the conferences, bro. I was locked up in solitary confinement at the cult compound. Like, I've been through it.
Yo, she got locked up. Wait. Did you? So she's telling me a story about they thought she was possessed. So her parents.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
She never went to one of the compounds.
But you actually went to the.
Yeah.
And is it
Did
okay?
they think you were possessed?
No, I just had a girlfriend and you weren't allowed to have that. And so I had to go for
No,
like
that's
remedial
you're
behavior.
bucking against the pyramid scheme of young. Wait, all right, wait. Let me just tell you this thing because that's very interesting.
Okay.
But my mom, we were going to the dentist, and so my mom's like a really nice person, okay, but when she talks, like, I used to always be embarrassed because of how much she doesn't. Whatever's in her head's coming out of her
Right.
mouth, whatever. Which now I
No
find,
filter. Yeah.
Well, now I find it hilarious. I probably
It's
picked that up.
refreshing.
That's
Yeah.
stand-up comedy, just speaking your
so
intrusive
people
thoughts.
genuinely like her, but she'll say things to me where I'm like, and she has this Midwestern accent, so my ex, she goes, "Oh, how's Carrie's little black friend?" And I'm like, the way she said it made me like, it's like a mom voice feeling. I don't know how to describe it.
It's so endearing, but
She's
also
just asking a
maybe
nice
problematic.
question. She's
Yeah.
genuinely asking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's trying
But
to be
the
a
way
good
she
person.
said, I'm like, oh God, my phone probably picked that up. Okay.
My algorithm's going to be Mom. Thanks a lot.
So then I'm like,
Just all Hitler memes now.
yeah. So for a while, I had a phase of like, I don't do that now, but when my mom would hit me with that cringe, I would try to hit her. Wasn't really consciously thinking about doing it.
Like
I would,
outsmarting her. Yeah, dude.
I would try to say something to make her cringe.
Right.
Which would
Okay.
be like what?
I'm
I was
gay.
like, good. Me and her and Karen are probably gonna have a three-way pretty soon. To like, I said it like casually. I'm doing it to like screw
Try
her.
to shock her. Yeah.
Okay. And my mom's, yo, this is one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen. I go, oh, yeah, we're probably all going to bet. I don't remember how I said it. It's fucking crazy I said this to her, but I was so cringed out from her saying a little black friend. I'm like, I'm going to make it worse and
Yeah.
get out of this. And she goes, she goes, Kurt, that's called triage. I go,
There's a word.
you goddamn
mom a
right it
nurse?
is. And we're adults. If we want to assess your level of need of medical care, if we want to set up before you see a doctor,
Triage?
she goes, that's called triage.
Well, actually,
I
it does
laughed
make sense.
Dude, I laughed so hard.
Menage a trois, right?
Yeah.
No, she called it triage. It was one of the
Triage.
funniest things.
That's hilarious, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Triage
called it-
makes more
yeah,
sense.
They call it a triage.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
sounds very fancy.
It's the Americanized version of Menage a trois.
yeah.
And we
like
did have a triage.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
But we hadn't when I said that.
Okay.
There was no plans. But I felt bad.
Basically,
like, I'm lying to my mom if
now
we
I've
don't.
got to. Yeah. No. You're right.
I'm
You
not
did
gonna
the
lie
right
to
thing.
my mom.
You're a good son, Kurt.
You want me to
had
lie to my mother?
I cannot believe you said that to your mother. You should be ashamed.
Because I couldn't believe what she said to me. So my uncle, he's really my uncle-in-law, my Aunt Louise's husband. He was a good dude. Uncle Bill, Uncle Jim. But he's in Florida, and his wife Billy, his new wife, after my aunt passed away. We were down there because my dad died, and he set up all the funeral stuff. Like, it was very cool what he did. So he like left all the stuff my dad had was like a car and stuff to him because he did all the work, But Billy, his wife, we're going, and she's telling us stories. So she's a Jehovah's Witness now.
Who is?
This woman, Billy, that he married after my aunt died, and she used to be in the Hell's Angels. Her brother,
Nice, dude.
Well,
Another cult.
Yeah.
well, she said her brother founded it, and it's not his real name he goes by, and they haven't spoken in like 40 years. I go, what's his name? She goes, I thought she said Sonny Bargus or Bargus. And I'm like, wait, does she mean Sonny Barger? She must have. Okay? She might have passed on now too. But that's not his real name, she said. And then she goes, when it started, they weren't like a criminal gang at all. It was just people on bikes hanging out. And she was telling the story about how they play this game like Run Rabbit, where you put chalk in the back of the motorcycle, like a bag of chalk. And the girls drive the motorcycles and they leave a trail of, so that the guys have to go after them.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and try to catch them.
Nice.
Okay, my mom.
That's kind of a
This is how
fantasy.
my mom is.
A little bit.
She goes, "What happens when they catch them?" She just wouldn't stop asking. And it was so fucking funny. My mom's like, will not let it go. What happens? She's not. Yeah. My sister goes, Mom, what do you think? So then we're, I don't know, we're at McDonald's or something, and I get one of them stupid cones, okay? And I'll fuck, like, my mom's got this thing where she won't, like, I'll get her one. You want one here? But no, she wants to take it off of mine.
Right.
Specifically.
Yeah,
it's like
it's the mom tax.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, I'll tell. But I remember this. Billy, the Hell's Angel aunt, is sitting there, and I'm like, no, Mom, I'll get you one. I was kind of like short, and she couldn't believe that I was like that. And I go, no, you don't understand. I over to get her one. She wants to take a bite out of mine specifically. Everybody goes, oh. I go, you see that? She's in the Hell's Angels.
And she finds
you
that
just
shocking.
Someone, a founder of the Hell's Angels. What do you mean?
Eating off.
You actually kind of have a little bit of a biker vibe, I think, Kurt. You might be the bad boy of comedy.
Great.
Yeah.
What do you get? Will my prizes be?
I mean, I think that should be your nickname moving forward.
I mean, I've put it forward,
Kurt the
but
Bad Boy Metzger?
I was laughed
Pretty
off
sick.
the podium at the UN when I put that resolution forward.
You know, you can't make your own nickname. He's been waiting for the moment someone gives this.
I just gave it to him. Matt McCusker. We just did a podcast with Matt McCusker, the shaman.
Yeah.
Shane, the young bull, the bad boy.
Really? I would call Shane Twinkie the Kid.
Twinkie the kid?
He looks like Twinkie the Kid.
Okay.
I gotta tell Shane he's Twinkie the Kid when I see him.
The sponge cake?
There you go.
Okay.
Twinkie the Kid, I just want to imagine Shane.
Okay.
As the
In a cowboy hat with a bandana?
dude, I actually want to like make that.
I kind of want a Twinkie now, honestly.
Yeah, just make him look like Twinkie the Kid and make a Shane shirt.
That's you could do it.
I'm gonna
with
make
AI.
merch of my own of comics I like.
There you go.
I'm not gonna buy their merch.
Wait, you're gonna make your merch, but with
I'm gonna
their
make Shane.
image. They're
No,
like,
I'm not selling it. I'm gonna
Oh,
make.
I was about to and sell it on your website.
I'm gonna make. No, there's no money. I'm gonna make my own Shane Gillis merch for me to wear.
Just
and
you.
enjoy. Just me.
And no one
Oh,
else.
all right.
Not buying his.
That's
merch.
actually kind of sick.
Yeah,
Just drawings of Shane like Twinkie the Kid.
it's strange, but it's I think
I
it's
have
pretty
notebooks
funny.
full of these drawings.
Mr.
I got to
Pitt-
do something with them.
Mr. Potato Head before you put the eyes and shit in. That's what she said. She's right.
That's mean. Don't say that.
She said that. She didn't mean it mean, but I remember
Yeah.
it forever.
No, of
'cause
course not.
If I told him that, he would never look at you.
I
the
know.
same way.
In hindsight, it's mean. I shouldn't have said that.
No, it was the most pure, childlike observation.
Who would Tony be? What would his merch be?
Who?
Hinchcliffe.
The Golden Pony?
Yeah.
You already know.
Oh
Oh my God, that's pretty endless. To
I don't
me.
think it's funny. I don't know why we're laughing about it. I mean, we're
What,
really
Tony?
brainstorming.
Okay,
here.
I didn't make up Tony the Golden Pony.
No, I know. Yeah, no. Sick nickname though.
I think his merch is just
Dude, the
cowboy
Golden Pony
boots
is
and the
one of the
belt. No
funniest-
actual person in it. Just the boots and the belt.
The
Enough
Golden
said.
Pony is one of the best nicknames I think
It's
I've
sick,
ever
dude.
heard. They
No,
call me the Golden Pony.
The young bull. When that one first came out, I was like, oh man, that's dope.
Oh, you're saying bull like not a bull, the young bowl.
No, yeah, not the concave.
In the Philly area, it's hard to tell. Like this bowl.
That's
You
true.
say a bowl. You call him a bowl?
Yeah, a bowl like you fill up with water. Yeah, no, not that.
Yeah, big bowl of water.
Yeah, no, the young bull, which a bull is in a situation, the one that is having relations with the hot wife,
Yeah.
if you will.
Yeah,
Pretty,
right.
That's pretty
So
cool.
it's the
Yeah.
ideal
I
position
went to
if you're in a
college.
bad position.
yeah,
That's
right.
the
yeah.
one to be.
That's you want to be the bull for sure.
There's no other winning in that
I'm just saying,
situation.
it's pretty sick. Not as cool as the bad boy of comedy.
I mean, I feel like the bull eventually is like, this is kind of weird.
Isn't there already a bad boy of comedy like Andrew Dice Clay or something?
Yeah, I would never say that. I mean,
Okay.
you don't want to be the bad boy of anything. I'm the good boy.
Okay,
I'm the good boy of comedy. How about that?
the best boy.
The best boy. I like that. He's the best boy.
I'm
of comedy.
comedy's best boy. With an OI. That's boy with an OI, by the
Oh,
way.
obviously.
Best
Boy.
boy.
and all your fans are just boys. BOIZ.
Yo, boy.
What up, boys?
Ryan
How my
Long-
boys doing?
Ryan Long already has that. He goes, boys, boys, boys.
Oh, Ryan's
That's
great,
true,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah. For a Canadian, what an awesome dude.
It's shocking.
It is.
It's shocking. Danny's funny as hell, too. Danny
He's also Canadian.
Polakachuk or whatever.
Oh yeah, he's here in Austin,
Polachek.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Right now.
Well, he don't live here.
He lives in New York, I think.
Probably here
Oh.
from Moon Tower.
Okay. I thought he lived here for some
I think
reason.
Moon Tower doesn't like Joe Rogan's club.
Kurt, you really seem to be just kind of avoiding the conversation about your traumatic
My bad
childhood.
boy.
Yeah, your bad. What made Kurt the best boy?
Here's when I knew I was best boy. Because I dropped out of my cult from because I started because I went to college.
Nice.
I went to Art Institute.
Sick.
Yeah,
Art school.
He led me right. Yeah, art school.
Oh,
posing.
okay. Well,
And
I don't know about art school.
It was Art Institute of Philadelphia, so it wasn't like it had no portfolio. When I knew how to draw when I got in though, I could do life drawing and I could paint. And but you didn't.
Were you good?
I could have been if I stuck with it. I had stuff that you could be like, oh, that's somebody if they
That's nice.
practice
Yeah,
they
it's
have talent.
good.
Okay.
She could actually paint like how if you did it the whole stuff
nice.
with it.
Yeah, but you're better at like caricature and emotion if you want like in a cartoon
I went to
sense.
animation
You know,
school.
like he could animate things. Yeah.
okay.
Where
Animation
school.
I'm more
I can
like
just draw
life
it.
drawing.
You're like an
and
anime guy.
Yeah.
No, don't.
Okay.
Please don't. say
Okay.
that.
Sorry.
This is like, is this just a show of insults at me?
No,
He's the bad boy of anime.
that's not what I was trying. Well, I think anime's best boy. I mean,
Please never say that. Please,
So
that is
sorry.
like calling
I'm
me
so sorry.
lower than a pedophile.
I
If you accuse me of loving anime, you are accusing me of something worse than anti-Semitism by a
How
lot.
do you feel about the bronies? I think that's really what we
I
want to know.
think that it's actually, she said a thing that I
Yes,
think is right.
I have the best theory on the bronies,
Okay.
which is that I think that what it spun out of is incel men who were so devoid of any feminine energy coming at them that they reversed in the exact opposite way. Like, I'll never be able to get girls, so I'm going to go for this ultra feminine thing that's so
Yeah.
feminine, it's childlike, it's ponies, it's pink, it's all these things, and then I'm going to start leaning towards that because it's the only dopamine.
It's like you get all your
Yeah.
feminine energy out of one
Yeah.
stupid cartoon because it's so bright and
It's
girly.
like you're
Which
busting
is crazy
your
because I
load of
feel like most of those
femininity, you
guys
know?
like were in a single mom situation. So like white guys go to brony, and then the other guys go to
Look,
I think all sorts of races went brony.
yeah,
There
Really?
there was a whole thing. It was an online thing where these guys all went brony, and they started it like as like a joke thing, but then some of them actually like turned into diaper.
like when you haze a guy in football camp by pulling acorns up his butt.
Yeah, of course.
It's
We've all
just
done it.
look. It's a funny
Yeah,
joke.
we're just having fun.
Look, it's funny. Yeah,
We're just
but a lot
being
of guys
boys,
take it too
right?
far.
We're just broing out right now.
And I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
why are you freaking out
And
about
then
the
some of
acorns in
them
your anus?
get all the wires
Yeah,
crossed,
but, like,
and next
why
thing
did you
they
even
know, they're
pick this?
jerking off to little ponies.
You know,
Yeah.
I suspect. Hey,
Or
some
feet.
of us aren't doing this for the right reasons. I'm here to forge a brotherhood that'll last a lifetime.
Yeah.
Some of these guys, I think they're like getting a boner over it.
I think they're liking it a little too much. Yeah.
And the guy taking it shouldn't be liking it like this. I'll tell you that. Mm-hmm. We should have a whole different thing for him if he enjoys it.
Ooh.
That's what I said. But no, I'm out of the club. So
What
whatever.
about the guys doing the shoving though? Like, do you think there was any of them that were enjoying?
There's always
you know?
one f***ing creep, and then they're like,
He already graduated, and for some reason he's still in the locker
yeah,
room.
and then they have their familiars, like these like
Yeah.
the kind of people that are like born second in command, motherfuckers that are like I was, like Columbine. The one kid was the dominant one,
Jesus.
and the other kid was his like wouldn't have done that without him.
Yeah.
But they both wouldn't have done it without each other. Is how their
They
personalities
needed one
were.
another. Yeah.
Yeah, but one was definitely the alpha.
For sure.
In
I think
the-
it was Dylan, right? Dylan
can't
was the
remember
alpha.
which
I
one
feel like
was
Which one was the cuter?
he was.
I can't
It
remember
was
which
whoever
one was
discovered
which.
Marilyn Manson first. Whichever one
Yeah.
started
Well,
listening to
now I
Marilyn
don't
Manson
think
first.
that it was organic at all, and I think they're making them and especially the main one that I think is 100% one of those Sirhan types is James Holmes, the Joker shooter from Batman Theater in Aurora.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you're thinking that's
Yeah, but that guy had crazy eyes, dude.
Yeah, I know, but
Okay.
That
do you
would
know what
lead-
he was? Because he was actually a very promising neuroscience student.
Really?
Yeah, then he went to his therapist. Bad luck for him, was an ex-CIA guy. And all of a sudden he's f***ing crazy.
He got MK Ultra?
Yeah, they never stopped doing it. And that when they caught him, he was doing this. Like
Just trying to click through?
out
He
of
was an
bullets,
Omega,
yeah.
so you're supposed to either self-delete or you're supposed to lay in place until you get deleted or picked up.
No way.
So he was doing, it's called Omega programming. That's
Yeah.
when you end it all. Mm-hmm. And
Thank you
yeah.
for saying self-delete, by the way. I appreciate that.
you have to learn a new language to speak of things. By the way, is that weird to anybody that you like can't just mention the name, the words of real things?
Well, I mean, yeah, it is extremely weird.
Do I live in Ponyland or something?
Well, we can do it on X. We'd probably actually
gonna
no.
put
I
it
don't
in
even think you can
Ponytown.
say it on X.
I don't think you can say it on anything.
I mean, what a you think of the stupidest solutions to not a real problem, like
Yeah.
suicide. Oh, excuse me, self-deletion.
Right. Yeah, if we don't say it, then maybe people won't do it.
Like,
That's craziness.
Yeah.
Think of like the amount of to do of all the Me Too time or whatever, and now you have to say someone was graped.
Yeah.
Wow, what progress!
Actually, you know what?
Great job, everyone.
Jessica Mistitano and I came up with a new phrase for that, and it's getting bullied by a penis.
Oh yeah, you can say that.
You could say that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like more like a assault by penis.
Penally attacked.
Yeah, but
So I had some Irish guy in Canada.
we got penal coded.
When they would talk about bully deletions, remember bully side. Can I say that portmanteaus?
Sure, I think so.
Yeah.
But this
Great
Irish
word.
guy,
Wow.
I'm in Montreal, and the guy goes,
Portmanteau.
this kid, he was telling me his sad ass about this kid who had some degenerative illness. He didn't know he wasn't going to make it, but he found out online looking up his disease, which is like so brutal, man. And he would take walks, and his dad would use his iPhone or something to like listen to music. He got beat up by these bullies that knocked his teeth out. These bullies from his school knocked his teeth out to steal his phone. And I was like, and then he ended up taking his life like after that. And he's like, when people call the concept of bullies, I'm like, okay, number one, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with Canada, but my concept of bullying and your guys's is that's called felonious assault and robbery.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
If
that's
that
not
happened to me,
bullying.
I'm not going to go to the cops and go, officer, please, I was badly bullied. Yeah, please.
Yeah, we all know bullying is just popping acorns in a dude's ass.
In
Yeah.
Canada, they go full ECW backyard wrestling, hand-to-hand combat.
That's wild that's how extreme it's gone, where that's no, they're kids, so they were just bullying.
To some dude
Yeah.
in Vancouver.
They knocked
told
all
me-
his teeth out in the bullying process.
Yo,
but
Yeah. I don't
A
think
guy in
that's
Vancouver was telling me his daughter.
I love Vancouver, by the way.
Well, it's
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's got the same problem of where I live in the Kill Tony Bucket section of town of white homelessness.
We have a lot of complaints.
That's such
Didn't research the
accurate
area
statement.
before I moved in.
Yeah.
It's real close to a soup kitchen.
Yeah.
Are you talking about up on? Well, I don't want to say.
I don't want to say, but
yeah.
I didn't research Austin too well before I moved here.
Yeah.
The
And,
lease is almost up.
Yeah.
Anyway, the cop said buy a gun, so we did. The cops
Which you
advice
can
was-
do. Which you can do in Texas.
Oh, I announce
Yeah.
it regularly. That
Yeah.
To
I've
the
never told
homeless.
Are you
anyone.
packing right now, Kurt?
No, but I only feel unsafe in my own home.
That's a real problem.
Once I get out, I'm like, whew.
Made it. Wow. Dodged another
I don't
bullet.
first of all, white, confident, homeless on the Fenton meth.
Well, now they're on
combo.
Trank, dude. That
Trank.
shit is wild.
The people around our house, they're smoking out of like meth pipes, like crack pipes.
No, they're
But-
doing meth. and-
They're doing science drugs. That's what they're. These
yeah, I think
homeless
they're
are on the
mixing all
cutting
sorts of
edge.
stuff
Yo,
too.
Of
do you know
drug abuse.
about Fantazapram or
Sounds sick.
it's like
Phantasapram. Yeah,
wait,
dude.
It begins with an F and it's like Milazapram or it's a benzo,
Yeah.
but it's a Russian one.
Okay.
Oh, I actually don't know about
The
that.
half-life of it is crazy. It's not like normal benzos that are out of your system. It like lasts like days.
Nice.
The effects last, not just in your
and
system.
you go. Okay, so you get amnesiac.
It's like a limitless pill for laziness.
Yes. Well, it's better than that. You lose all memory. Okay, you get amnesia from it.
Nice.
So here's what happens. People are. It's so strong. If people black out from Xanax all the time.
And alcohol, yeah.
If you black out on this shit, and they're Russian, so it's alcohol too.
It's vodka.
You amnesiac, and you're probably still taking the pills, so you're maintaining the amnesia.
So you could block out days.
So people,
Yeah, you just go AWOL
without
forever.
anybody doing experiments on you on your own, you just do it, and all of a sudden you are in a sleepwalker state. It's fucking wild.
Is that like a
That's a
KGB
zombie
drug
pill.
or something?
well,
That seems
all
like
of them
something
have
the
been used
government
by
would-
everybody. The one,
Oh yeah, it's all a black op.
the one I can't remember the name of it, but Edgewood Arsenal, where Frank Zappa grew up.
I don't know
Edgewood
about that.
Arsenals were chemical warfare. His dad's in the chemical warfare division.
Edgewood's in Virginia, right?
No, it is.
I don't know. I'm
I don't
asking.
know. Sounds like a place for gooners to me.
Yeah, I was about to Edgewood.
Hey.
Nice.
Talk about Edgewood Arsenal. That's what
Barely
I
a
named,
double entendre. That's crazy.
That's what I named my. Anyway, this is what. So I'd heard of this. It's like during the MK Ultra experiments with soldiers. That's where they were doing them, giving them LSD. The soldiers.
Right.
I think that movie Jacob's Ladder is kind of has to do with it.
Okay.
because at the end they say a thing about the very real experiments.
I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
I
I've
just
heard
know
of
Robin
it,
Williams
but-
is in it, right? Oh, okay. Then I'm thinking of the wrong
No.
movie. Oh, that's Patch
You're
Adams.
thinking
My
of-
bad. I haven't seen that either.
Totally.
You're thinking of Patch Adams. The one with Robin Williams? Yes. Yes. That's exactly what it is. So you ever hear people take Benadryl and they see the Hat Man?
Yeah.
The worst trip I've ever heard of in my life. And there are people on those swim board,
What's the Sudafed?
But
It's
it's just
Benadryl. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, Sudafed.
Yeah.
Sudafed. But like, why wouldn't you take a
Okay,
better
wait.
drug?
Meth. Just do meth.
I don't know.
Like
no,
a
there's
normal
people that
person.
want keyboard cleaner, and that's what they like.
Well,
Some people
true.
like what they like.
Yeah, that is.
Okay, but that one in particular, Benadryl, and the Irwin Vault stories of people are like, don't ever do this, and I'm like, why did you do it? It's baffling. But some of these people just on themselves took hundreds of those pills and have terrible. Okay,
Yeah, dude, some of us have to get all the way up to the edge. I mean, I know you didn't really, I mean, well, I don't know.
well, okay, wait. So the Hat Man that people see, the shadow person,
Yeah.
right?
Slender Man, sure.
No, it's not Slender Man.
That's
It's
similar.
a shot. It's not. Slender Man's a whole different thing.
Oh.
You're going to be in a lot of trouble mixing those up.
Okay, my bad, guys. I didn't mean
don't
to
bring
offend
that-
The
the
cryptid
shadow
people are gonna come for you for
the-
this.
No,
My
that's
God.
the most race. Okay, wait. So
I am
that
so sorry.
the Hat Man. The thing that's interesting to me about the Hat Man is like people in other countries that have done this. They'll see a different like hat that corresponds to their country.
No, you talking rice hats?
Like, oh wow! I didn't even.
Okay.
I was thinking like
Are you
bowlers for
talking
I don't-
English
shiny,
people.
like rice
Okay.
field hats?
Oh shit!
I don't know
Those
if it's
furry ear
okay,
hats
that's a
for
fair
Russians?
question.
Yeah.
I don't know specifically rice hats, but I do know people have seen them with like big sombreros and shit. Now I want to try it. Now I'd like a
What kind
trip
of hat
around
do you
the
think
world.
you would see?
If you're
Okay.
in Syria, they'll just have the
So
towel.
wait. So the implications of that are something else.
Turban, just that's it.
Well, but so that means the hat is somehow symbolic. If you're
Sure.
that's bizarre. But here's what's gross about Edgewood Arsenal, because they make it like they just gave them a lot of acid, which is f***ed up on its own. No, they f***ing made a distilled version of that shit of Benadryl, like 1938, 41, whatever, that puts you. You have 5 to 10 days of peaking on the hallucinations you get.
That's probably where go pills come from, dude. That like pilots and special forces guys take.
If you get that to a pilot, you would be you want to kill him.
We would have another 9/11.
You think the pilot's going to see spiders and shadow people for 5 days straight, and that's
Yeah, that's not a good drug to give him.
I'm saying a version of that, Kurt.
that would in
Not
no
saying
way
that-
be helpful to.
Well, I
pilot.
mean, it's a speed pill.
no, it's not. It's a wait, what's the term? It's
Sleepy. Benadryl makes you sleepy.
But the Sudafed, maybe do they not have Sudafed
you
and
can
Benadryl?
take. No, I don't think Sudafed is the same as Benadryl. I don't think it is.
Maybe I'm just getting
I'm
my
gonna be
drugs
honest.
confused.
I've went for harder drugs. I didn't really f around with
No,
Benadryl.
well,
well, you
so
can
I
make
don't really
you can
know.
make shaker bottle
No,
meth
you
with
know what?
Sudafed.
Sudafed,
Yeah, but you gotta separate it,
Sudafed
right?
is
Yeah.
not Benadryl.
Okay. Okay.
Benadryl's
I'm just
pink.
confused. I'm sorry. I'm confusing
Yeah.
the shadow people and the
That's
drugs.
not us. That's
You
the
need to
cryptid
calm down and
people.
take some Benadryl.
I know.
Get
Honestly,
this man some bennies.
I need to. I need to take a whole bottle of Benadryl so
know
I can
what?
apologize to the Hat Man.
Apologize to the Hat Man.
Yeah, I really do.
Okay, so I thought Benadryl kids doing that was like robo tripping. Remember hearing about robo?
That's
tripping?
Robitussin.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like a thing that was relatively new when I was young, like kind of you'd never heard of it, and they're like, "Oh, robo tripping, what's this?" But apparently it's been around for quite some time, and
Yeah.
for them to distill the Benadryl thing to weaponize the Hat Man is fucking batshit. But think of that. That's like if you're having full bore hallucinations like that, where
Yeah.
you're seeing the things.
Yeah.
Okay. Think of the usefulness of that application, and think of like all the stories you've heard of people telling of shit they saw that's paranormal.
Well, dude, that's
Yeah.
probably like something like that. I'm sure is like what the unfortunates in Austin are on. Something like that, dude. Because
They're on fentanyl and meth.
But what would be the benefit of having someone just freaking out about the Hat Man?
It's
for
a
3
it's a
days
weapon.
straight?
You're trying to.
Yeah, but is that like
They
a
built a
torture
gay bomb.
method?
Remember that? The
yeah, dude, yeah.
They were developing a gay bomb.
It's true. I guess it's all just kind of Looney Tunes nonsense.
No, it's not. Clearly, they dropped it on America. Okay, in the 90s, they were talking about making some kind of gay bomb that would turn everybody gay.
Ooh, I
Well,
wonder.
that's hilarious.
Do you
And
think that
now
explains
look.
like autism, like how prevalent autism is now? Maybe they developed an autism weapon.
Yeah, it's in the food. It's essentially all of
hormones?
the food. No, it's chemicals. And
I just
stuff.
Like the Joker toxin from the
I bet
first
there's
Batman.
autism shit in that drink right
I
now.
hope so, dude. Because
That's the
I
name
could
of-
really use the boost in my career, honestly. If I could go on stage and be like, guys, I'm autistic. Okay?
It's
You
true.
can.
You would blow
I mean,
up.
yeah, that's
It's
true.
not stolen
I was
valor.
homeschooled. I feel like it's like
Is it
fraudism a
stolen
little bit, you
tardation?
know?
Fraudism.
Yeah, that's
Is it fraud?
I think if you're homeschooled, that counts though.
yeah, that's what I usually
Yeah,
say.
I'm
Like
pretty sure.
I do like trains.
Yeah.
You know, I know.
Oh, so wait, tell me about the room that you had to go in. I don't know why I was talking about this other shit. I forgot about your thing.
Oh yeah, the room that I was in was just it was just like a hotel room, just like a
Wait, tell
bathroom and
people
a bed.
about what. Okay, so wait, so Quiverful, you're like a Duggar. Did
Yeah.
you guys have the haircuts?
I mean, I wasn't allowed to grow my hair long.
Explains this now.
Oh, yeah, very much so. Yeah, for one of the first things I did, honestly, I grew swoopy bangs because I was emo at the time when I first got out of the cult. But yeah, all the women had to wear dresses. I wasn't allowed to wear my shirt untucked.
How many
Could
brothers and sisters?
Just two. We were a failure. Yeah, no, we failed.
You know, Brooke's
yeah,
parents-
it was a
try?
huge point of shame for
Yo,
my
Brooke's
family.
parents were grift. They're like apparently they're like these Texas Chainsaw Massacre people. They're all awful.
Yeah?
they were grifting that church. Her mom was secretly taking birth control the whole time.
Oh, nice! What a
So,
real one.
It's like, and they would make her do it like it's real when she.
And they were probably praying over her and everything.
They
like,
were
for
trying to say her
fertility.
brother is the Christ. So she was saying, because these are, I mean, who would be in this cult besides perverts and dipshits, right? At best.
Are
you're
you
a
still
dipshit.
friends with your family before he crucifies them? For
Oh,
having
they're
you
not in the
this?
cult anymore either.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But my family was like pretty. I mean, I say normal, but like I know it sounds crazy, but by the cult standards, my family was relatively normal.
Yeah.
Why'd
And
they
they got
leave?
out. They got out a year after I did.
Why?
Because they tried to blame one of the like primary guys in the cult. He
Mm.
cheated on his wife with his secretary, and they tried to blame him cheating on his wife. So like it's your fault that he cheated on you. And my mom was like, "Oh, I don't think so. We're out." That
Why?
Yeah,
Because
basically-
she wasn't
yeah.
giving it out enough or something, and so he had
basically,
to cheat?
yeah,
That's what
she
they
wasn't
went for?
taking care of him at home, and so he went and had to cheat on her and start a new family.
Do you know what Brooke told me? That guy that, so it's actually what's her name? Mary Pride and the other guy who runs it now.
I don't even know who runs it now.
That movement, yeah.
it's still in
wait,
Texas. It's in Big Sandy, Texas. Like they
Okay,
still
that
have
guy-
a compound.
That guy would be on, Brooke said would be on the phone to Mike Pence every day. Goddard. That's the head
Okay.
guy.
The guy that got busted for his kid was something weird. That guy.
I don't think he did get busted, but
There were all kinds of people getting
people
busted for
send
weird stuff
pictures
with
of
kids.
their daughters to him like a Joseph Smith type.
Yeah.
So you go have the
Oh, you're
honor-
talking about Bill Gothard.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
no longer leads the cult. He's been disgraced.
Why did he get? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He got
Wait.
disgraced because they found out he was, basically
Is it
grooming
Brooke?
women.
Yeah.
Is it from Brooks recording? You know, she was with him and recorded him every day.
Oh yeah, she
Is
told
it
me
from
about
that?
that. No.
Oh.
They found out in like the early 2000s that there was some shady stuff going on, and then a few years later, they basically ousted him from his own cult.
Yeah.
But so I don't understand. So you guys were in that, and there's other people in that movement. But were you going to a regular church and you just all in this
it
club?
was a regular church, and we all used their homeschool curriculum, went to their conferences.
So they had their own church at this point. It wasn't like a Methodist church where some people are quiverful and some are not.
no, that's the kind of church that my family went to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
there
we-
were people who were not like quiverful
Absolutely.
in it.
I mean, for a few years, we did home church where we were just like doing church services in families' houses with other cult families. But ultimately, my family moved on from that. We went to a regular church. I know there were churches out there it was like all IBLP families. So all families that were in the cult
What a
going
very
to the same
strange
church.
thing to. I mean, because I'm now with all the American cults, I always think they're, so Jehovah's Witnesses is Charles Taze Russell from. And by the way, people trash that guy, the founder of it, but in no way was he portrayed to me as like the Prophet Muhammad or some kind of shit like that.
Really?
Not at all.
Not like Joseph Smith at all.
No.
Okay.
They just said their whole thing is the light keeps getting brighter as we reach end time. So that's a good way to write off because mistakes
That's just
were made.
glaucoma, dude. Like, what the? That's just your cataract.
It literally does sound like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, okay. I'm just like, where do you guys come in? What do I need you for? Anyway, with a lot of these come out of England. They're like Anglican, some weirdo with mutton chops. And a lot of them are coming out of secret societies where it's like bringing America back in the fold. So, World War I, when we come back to them basically being like a part of England again, like nobody wanted to go to World War I. In fact, a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses went to prison for protesting World War I.
Really?
Yeah, Woodrow, we false flagged.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's why.
Are Jehovah's Witness pacifist?
Well, we can't join the military. I mean, you could defend yourself if you had to, but you can't join the military. You
Oh.
can't even be first of all, I got news for you. If you're out going to war and you're a Christian, you're not a fucking Christian. Just so you know.
Okay. Interesting
Why
take.
would anyone think that you could do that?
Well, I mean, there were the Israelites, as they were
They weren't
called in the
Christians.
Torah. They were
Jews.
Well, Jesus said,
Yeah.
"Learning war no
good
more."
point.
All the okay,
But Christianity is based on the Old Testament in large part, and they were doing war.
right? But Jesus came and fulfilled all this shit. So it's supposed to be Jesus coming.
Okay.
He's going to do all.
That's a
Christians
great
got
point.
eaten by lions. They didn't fight the lions.
Chris really
okay?
schooling
Yeah,
me on
you're
my own
supposed to
religion.
have
This
to
is
turn
crazy.
the other cheek. You're not ever supposed to.
That- yeah.
No, I got taught if you got executed because you're. So I remember it's like so funny to say, but when I was 5, I was like ready to die. We were not
That's like
violent.
the cultiest thing
What?
I've ever heard.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you why. Because
For your religion?
yeah, and especially when you're a little kid and you like don't want to be bad. Like, first of all, if I got killed for being good, that
Yeah.
means I crossed the finish line
The
automatically.
ultimate sacrifice, yeah.
The same as a fucking suicide bomber. It's the same level of dedication. You know, as you get older, you're like, I don't know if I want to die.
Well, it
for
was the
that.
persecutions of the Christians, in first century, right? After Jesus died and all those Christians got persecuted by the Romans.
Well, it comes and goes. Depends who's in power. So, like Nero, who Revelation is about,
Yep.
that's the beast or whatever. 616, not 666.
What?
Yeah, it's not 666.
Okay.
So there's a lot of horseshit people believe is because these movements that come in from England, and a lot of them are like occultist con men, like your
Wait,
Joseph Smith.
is that when we got Freemasonry? Was after World War I?
So
no.
before
Okay.
during the spiritualist movement, a bunch of religions that were getting chased out of England came to like upstate New York, and then
Okay.
some of them went out west.
Okay, wait, but
So, like
but
Joseph Smith.
we got Freemasonry like at the start. The whole DC is a Freemason thing.
But
Right.
DC isn't originally the capital. That came a little bit
Well,
later.
okay, but whatever. The point is,
The founding fathers were Masons.
all of them, and
Yeah.
so those. Even though, by the way, it is weird as shit that everybody's in a secret fraternity group where you take a blood oath. Whatever, I guess.
Those are just
do
the
it.
boys, dude.
Yeah, sure. But the way shit works is not like, oh, you're Freemason, so you're in the thing. It's in Tragedy and Hope. Get that book by Carroll Quigley. Explains. Carroll Quigley was a Georgetown professor. That's Bill Clinton's mentor, one of the most respected polymaths in education. And he was invited by the transatlantic fucking New World Order to write down their history of what they're doing. So there's nothing occult or UFOs in this book. It's pretty rough to read. I've never read it. I read the companion book that picks out the interesting parts.
Oh, nice, dude.
That's also,
Spark Notes.
yeah, but it's like that one's thick as fuck as well, by the way,
Jesus.
because it's scholarly. And so that's the dry skeleton bones of the operation,
Okay.
if you're wondering what it is. And so the main guy behind it is Cecil Rhodes, the father of apartheid. The Rhodes Scholarship is named after him.
What?
Yeah, Rhodes Scholar.
And he's the father of apartheid?
Of course. Oh, and he's a boy lover, is how it was put by this British guy.
Minor attracted person, Kurt, please.
Map.
This
He
is
was, of
respectful.
course, a boy lover.
But
Because
yes,
one of the grossest things I've ever seen is this guy, an interview from 2010 in England, who wrote the bio. And the grossest shit you find is from where they're not against the people. So this guy, Carroll Quigley, he's given cosmic level clearance, it's called. Okay? So
By the Masons?
no.
Who's it?
No, fuck the Masons.
so this is much more current.
So
Yeah.
remember QAnon,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck that was? Q is a level of clearance.
Okay.
The president, there's 8 levels of clearance above the president. Did you know that?
No?
Yeah. So
What are we talking about right now?
top secret clearances.
Okay. All right. My little brother's an F-16 fighter pilot.
Okay, so-
So he's got like levels of clearance, but you're
Here's
talking
what-
like
Yeah. Okay. So
Up
the low
higher.
levels,
Illuminati level
it's
clearance.
not the Illuminati. So wait. So the low levels of clearance, here's what those are, which I didn't realize until very recently. When Trump revoked a bunch of these people's security clearances, what that is like it's better than like a degree from Harvard. It's a license to make money. If you have a security clearance, that means you're automatically get paid as a consultant some crazy amount. So, and that's why the security state, besides whatever they're hiding, it's like a corrupt, almost like a state level corruption, money making thing of friends and family. Do you know what I mean? It's like Africa levels of
It's just
corruption.
insider trading. Yeah.
So if you have that clearance, that means you can get hired any jerk off fucking
Right.
anything. And so taking away your clearance, because I was like, the guy doesn't work for the CIA, John Brennan. Why is he taking it? Because that asshole's getting paid to push horseshit. So anyway,
To write this book that you're talking about?
no, this book was written in the '60s, and this guy was so respected. He was invited to these archives they have, I guess, in England.
Oh, I got you.
It's the history of the Anglo-American world order. So
Got it.
Jehovah's Witnesses were very fixated on that when I was in it, and I always thought it was silly, and I didn't understand because it's such a turn of the century kind of religion. That's the current events of the time. Because they always said the wild beast was the Anglo-American world power, and I remember hearing that as a kid, the Anglo-American world power, in our Revelation book, and I'd be like, isn't England like not shit? Like, why? This must have been written in the 1800s when England was a big deal still. But they were right, now that I know. All NATO, all Bilderberg, the transatlantic fucking whatever it's called. That's it. So England, through soft power, got all its fucking shit back. And so
The Commonwealth, right? I mean,
yeah, so Canada is like moving from Commonwealth to like a Raj
because
state.
Charles is still king of Canada.
Yeah, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
And a lot of other countries that people don't even
Yeah.
list out because we forget
I didn't know
there's
that
a
until
Commonwealth.
recently.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
You know,
Well, wait, the Jehovah's Witnesses,
wait, what? Yeah.
they were against the Empire of England?
No, they're against the wild beast of the earth, which was the Anglo-American world power, they called it.
Which is like this secret society
and
situation.
that Charles Russell was a fucking Freemason. So that's why he had that attitude about. Now, I've read books where he's like condemned that he's like part of the thing, but I have to tell you, I don't understand what use that is to the thing to tell people they can't go to war and they shouldn't get involved in politics. I don't know how that helps the wild. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get. Maybe there's a reason.
If the wild beast is the enemy, you would think you'd need to do that stuff so that you could eradicate the wild beast.
Yeah, but I'm not a Jehovah's Witness anymore, and I don't like, the things I do agree with though is the anti-war.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, it sounds like you still agree with like a lot of their theories.
I've never saluted a flag ever in my life.
Really?
Ever. And the reason I don't have to is because Jehovah's Witnesses went to the Supreme Court on that shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Original flag salute's a Sig Heil for I'm sure everybody. The Bellamy salute, it's a literal Sig. We did it first.
Oh, Elon's cool?
I mean,
Yeah.
he's following the tradition of American
really
school
cool.
children, I guess you could
There we
say.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I never did that, and I never would. So I was taught that God don't like none of the governments. He's going to kill you all.
Or birthdays.
And who gives a shit about that? Dude, here's what I really appreciate. Can I tell you what I'm grateful?
about
Your girlfriend would love some acknowledgement on her birthday.
I'll give her whatever she wants, but I don't give a fuck about that shit because I was not raised to give a fuck.
Yeah.
On the holidays, we had cupcakes in class, and everybody would have, and we didn't go and protest the school and say you can't do Christmas because I can't have a cupcake. You know what I did? I just didn't have a fucking cupcake like a man.
Yeah.
And I got to say,
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that so much because what it is an early, almost like wearing a Jew hat or a,
You
know,
mean a yarmulke?
Thank you. I couldn't think of it. There's a thing that's setting you aside on purpose so that you're not part of that herd.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can break with the group when
So-
it comes down
and so
to
not
it
only
more.
can I
It conditioned
Yeah.
you to be a rebel. This is why I said you're
not
the
a
bad
rebel.
boy. Dude,
It's not a bad boy. No, it's a good. It's not a rebel.
it's the best boy.
He's a good
Okay.
Jehovah boy.
Yeah.
But not only that, that thing of like, if I don't think it, so if I believe in something shit is right or wrong, like you're telling me, and then you fuck up, I expect you to go by those same principles, right? But if you don't, then I'm like, well, you should have told me all that shit then, because I'm out. You know, like if somebody gets molested and you don't go to the cops and you handle it in house.
Oh,
You know?
man, I wish we could bring
And
that back.
someone at the society sneaks out a thumb drive of all the thousands of cases, and you go to fucking court to try to suppress in victims. Like, well, I agree with what I agree with, and I don't agree with the other shit, you know? And
Yeah.
now, I don't know, we get the balls to act like you're an intermediary to God after you. I wouldn't have done that.
Well, that's how it ends for every religious organization. I mean, Catholics got caught, the Johos got caught, my cult got caught. Well, the cult leader got caught, but there was all kinds of weird stuff happening in these families, these gigantic families
Yeah.
that isolated themselves from everyone. And so, yeah, some weird shit was bound to happen.
Brooke told me her friend, like she had friends in their church, and all the daughters had to like come and present themselves to dad, whatever they're wearing, and like bend over so he could check and make sure they're not too hot.
Yeah, so that they were modest. Yeah.
Not too hot?
Yeah, just
Oh,
bend
like-
over for
I got
father.
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't be seeing any cleave.
The
Yeah.
Bible
You know-
says bend over for daddy to make sure you're good. It's such an obviously warped thing. It's so obviously insane.
Yeah. No, it's
Right?
crazy, dude.
I had neighbors that were in that one where the women couldn't cut their hair and had to wear the long dresses.
Of their bush?
That's the same.
I'm sure.
That's the same way it was in our cult.
I think
Women
they
had to
might
wear
have
dresses.
been part of that. Yeah.
Like if you didn't have long hair, and it really needed to be like kind of curly, wavy.
They
you know?
were allowed to put theirs up in a bun. I remember
You
that. But it
could,
was really
yeah,
long.
but like
You ever
that
see
was a
when they
point
get
of pride for the women.
like any. So women are going to compete in making something pretty on them, no matter what you do. So the Arab chicks that have to cover up always had really
the
nice
burqas.
toenails.
Yeah.
Like they'd have their toenails
Which is crazy that they can show that because arguably there's a lot more men obsessed with feet than they are with
Also-
shoulders.
They are now because when you suppress normal shit, that's how you get weird perversions.
Also,
you create
are you
them.
sure that's true? Because
Well-
Muslims aren't allowed to paint their nails. So
It's everybody's got
How's
their
that
own
work?
goddamn rules.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
But the thing that made me laugh was those FLDS where they're
Yeah,
having a
dude.
contest of the highest prairie bun.
Yeah.
And then the lead, the queen
Forgot.
bee. And they actually have a symbol, the Mormons, of a busy bees.
Yeah, it's all
which
over
is like
Utah.
really bad. Really a bad
Dude,
message.
FLDS is crazy.
But the one girl who's like the main bitch, she had a fucking unibrow. And you could tell they're like, oh, she's plain as hell. Oh, shit. You see how plain that bitch is? Oh, I'd like to have fucking missionary sex with her.
the
I'd
cult,
like to soak her.
the cult that I
I'd
was
like
in,
to soak with her.
the cult that I was in as a child, I don't remember them having anything weird like this. But I only did it for like 2 years, and then my mom dipped out.
You were in a cult too?
I don't know if it's a cult.
What
was
is
it?
The Church of Religious
What are you
Science.
calling a cult?
What, the Church of Religious Science? What is that, like a branch off of the Church
Different
of
than
Christ Scientist?
Christian
or-
Science. It's more like
Christian
Jehovah's
Science or-
in that they had like a guy in the 1800s or something that wrote a
Really?
book.
See,
and
they all
then-
come out of
it's
fucking
like
upstate
New
New York.
Agey.
Yeah.
Albany, New York
Yeah.
is like the tech sector
Or
of the time
Saratoga,
of
yeah.
goofball fucking religions, right?
Okay.
So all the things come out of them from a few guys. It's a lot like if you ever trace like all those hilarious black Israelite groups,
Yeah.
and the Nation of Islam, they all come from this Wallace Fard guy who's, if he's not white, he's Lebanese, and for some reason, and he's a con man, and but it's just, there's a repeating pattern of something of
Well,
like,
all of the religions cross lines. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
that's what it is, dude.
there's always a manic depressive con man guy at the top who half believes it is half a con man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the main thing is the guy, the second guy who takes it and makes it. So you got your Apostle Paul, you got that Miscavige guy for L. Ron Hubbard, like the Roy Kroc of McDonald's guy, right?
Yeah.
The McDonald's brothers have these burgers. Roy Kroc's the guy who fucking markets it.
Yeah. That's a
And-
great documentary, by the way.
I don't care about McDonald's. What I'm interested in is why most religions or the big three, like they always like three Persians show up at the start of it.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
Well,
Muhammad
I mean-
had three Persians that would show up to his tent in the hadiths, which is very no one could come in. Just three.
Well, I mean, you take Christianity, for instance.
Magi.
Like, you look at like the Hindu religions, Mithraism. I mean, it's all like going back to the same shit.
Well, I don't think Mithraism. So the way they portray Christianity now is like it's just like Mithraism. They repackaged.
Yeah.
I don't think that's what it is.
Really?
Not at all. If you think about Freemasonry,
Okay.
okay, which all the presidents were in, which why we have these great Roman-looking things, and we're Rome, and that's why Revelation was written for ancient Rome, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but why is it applying now? Because they're going out of their way to be Rome. Do you know what I mean? If you're going to play a part of the story, it's going to work. I think that's intentional.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's all mystery schools. You know what
Okay.
a mystery school is?
No.
That's so.
Producer Josh is nodding his head aggressively. You know
know
what
what it
mystery
is?
schools?
I've heard it's The Secret History of the World by Mark Booth. I read a thing about the
Oh.
secret schools and that's where Jesus went when.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a story.
like
okay.
Gnosticism, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So
secret
okay,
schools, yeah.
but so Scientology, which people think is a scam, and they would call it a cult. One of the reasons they call it a cult. Now Jehovah's Witnesses aren't like this, and neither is the thing you were in. The Scientology, though, you don't get to know the beliefs of the religion until you keep
Level
paying
up.
money, right? You got to pay your way into levels.
Yeah.
That is a mystery school. That's
Okay.
how it's designed. It's a pyramid.
I got you.
That's what the big secret the Templars got is how to set up the pyramid scheme. I swear to God.
It's all just multi-level marketing.
Everything, dude.
Yeah.
Everything is that. That's
Yeah.
why people that do Amway a lot of times are Mormons and Jehovah's and people that are good at knocking on doors and not being afraid to talk to strangers.
Yeah.
And proselytize. My parents were all salespeople.
They were trained for it, dude.
Right. And
You had to
so-
be a missionary. Now you're just a missionary for this sick-ass product.
Well, if you believe in the thing you sell, it's very easy to sell it. I mean, it is. If it's hard to sell when the hard sales is like, this is crap and I got to unload it on you. Like Glengarry, Glen Ross.
Yeah.
The leads are crap, you know? That's
Coffees
anybody
for closers.
can sell
Love
a good
it.
product.
Yep.
So they'll tell you that like they're copying Mithraism. No, Mithraism is the Freemasonry of Rome.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yep.
And it's from...
Well, it was a religion for the
It's
elites.
Iranian.
Yeah.
It's Iranian. And the Magi,
Yep.
which is where we get magic. You know, they show up for Jesus' birthday in the story. They show up to Muhammad. I look at everything as gain of function research. Like Islam is gain of function research. All the religions are that. Like they're doing experiments on a thing, like a virus in terms of spreading.
Okay.
And you're like, can I tweak it and make it this? And there seems to be a definite, and it's very Iranian. Iranian, by coincidence, is what Aryan means.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Iran is
That is
Aryan.
true.
It
Yeah.
means
They're
Aryan.
brown.
Aryan doesn't mean what.
It doesn't mean white.
Yeah, but a lot of them are white.
Well, we've
Yeah.
certainly conscripted that term.
Well, the Nazis tried to steal it. So
the Medes are the white ones of Persia. The
Yeah.
Medes and Persians.
Okay.
Cyrus the Great is the first Messiah in Judaism. Cyrus the Great is considered the first Messiah because he, I think Nebuchadnezzar, he destroyed the guy that they call
Oh yeah, the Babylonians.
the Babel. Yeah, and so
that's
so he goes
some ancient
everybody
Torah
because
shit,
he was
yeah.
like I think he was dark. I could be wrong, but I could have sworn there's a story. He was darker. You know, the ones that were in charge were pretty shitty to the darker ones, and he was like kind of cool when he got in, and he was like, "No, everybody go home and do your own thing. This is crazy." And so Israel, the Bible you have, that's when they write it down,
Right.
as a thing. The first part
Historical
of it,
record.
the
yeah.
Hebrew scriptures.
Yeah.
So that's an Iranian project.
Okay.
You understand? Like Zionism is Iranian originally from the decree of King Cyrus. Hence, he's a Messiah because he goes, go and set up Israel again. Okay.
Yeah, dude.
So we don't have writings. I don't think we have any writings from before that. So that's when there's the 2-tribe kingdom of Judah, right? And there's the other tribes that are like lost now, whatever. And so it's like big city Reform Jews coming home from a city and going into like where the southern, Israeli Sephardics are, and a lot. That's why there's 2 creation accounts in Genesis because it's both of their stories, and it's
the
being
separate
mixed.
factions.
That's what happens when you split up.
Well, yeah. I mean,
That's what the Nimrod story is. Remember?
well,
They're
that's Christianity through the years. I mean, the Catholics and then the other guys.
So how did it
basically.
spread? So if Jesus, I have people say like Rome invented Jesus, like a control thing to make you like docile or something.
Constantine, I think, theoretically,
Well,
was kind of the first one to document it.
he's the first one to adapt.
No, he adopted
to
it.
Yeah.
And they say it's because Mithraism was taking over with the elite, just
Right.
like how Freemasonry. Scientology would say you could be a Christian and a Scientologist,
Mm-hmm.
but as you pay up, you find out no, you can't. That is literally the
but
same.
now you've already spent $300,000.
Yo,
So you're
that's the same with all the secret societies. That's what Freemasonry is. No, yeah, you could be we welcome all religions,
Yeah.
but if you get up to the higher things, you're like, oh, they're all bullshit. I mean, how do people not already know this? They do. So fucking I think it's like populism. I think for Jesus thing, the things that spread is really, what is Jesus' story? What's the theme that's so appealing? Debt forgiveness, right?
Well-
You're born into sin.
Right.
That's a debt. Jesus, and so you're a slave now. See, I didn't understand this when I was in religion. I didn't
I mean,
understand it.
this is the whole concept of Romans that you're
I
describing.
was like, I didn't fucking eat some guy's fruit that I shouldn't have ate. Why am I on the hook for this? The legalese of it is you get put in that slavery automatically, and it's not fair, and that's why Jesus gets sacrificed. And I think the reason it took off so quickly was because it was populist. You understand? And there's nothing elites hate more. If everything else is copying Rome, why wouldn't that part be you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
being replicated as well. So the whole part of Jesus is we need to appropriate this because
you're saying
the
it was just
people-
like religion for the common man, and it resonated
Populism.
with them essentially. Yeah.
populism.
Because
and
it was
they
for
hate
the people at the
populism.
bottom too. Yeah.
So how do we appropriate populism? That's the eternal thing that they always do, right?
Yeah.
Like people still like Reagan to this day. Populists liked him, but he was he was perfect because he was hardcore fucking establishment, really into some dark shit on the down low. Oh yeah, he had
Kurt
an
has
Epstein.
news.
On Reagan? Dude, come on.
He
That's like the
says-
guy.
Yeah, who
The
could've-
Gipper, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, we all
All
win
right,
one
tell
for
him
him.
everything you know.
Good
about
I'm
him.
Lord.
not. I don't even
You
know why
can't.
you're
You're on
acting.
YouTube.
She
You
goes
can't.
like, oh, the
You've been heavily red-pilled.
I hate that shit.
What? That's what this is.
I don't use none of them fucking gay ass phrases.
Nah, see, that's your Joe
You mean
Ho
Dayquil?
talking.
Do I'm a Dayquil or Nyquil? I hate, dude. Just those fucking buzz phrases are part of the control. Just
Okay.
okay.
No, that's, I mean, it's a good point.
But you know why
you make
they
a valid
do it?
point.
You've been in a religion. They do it so that your thought. It's like a prison. It's like a prison.
Yeah.
For like a nuanced thought. It's your words are like a prison to capture that. That's why you're not allowed to name God in ancient, because that would be like you capturing him in a Pokeball in a
Right.
way.
Also,
You're not allowed to do that.
Also, it makes you able to like brush things aside just by
That's the
labeling
yes.
it. You go, oh, I'm going to label it as this,
Just
therefore I
can
don't have to
label-
actually
I think
listen
I heard,
to the
I
information.
heard Jon Stewart saying, when he goes, oh, what is your thing so I can label and dismiss you?
Yes.
That's what that shit is.
He
That's,
said that out loud.
Dude, Jon Stewart got kind of based. I don't know what happened, but I'm
dude.
liking a lot of the stuff he's saying right now.
Well, hey, great, dude. After you put a medal on a Nazi at Disney World, I'm glad you put it together finally. Good for you, buddy. So anyway, Cecil Rhodes roundtables were the first secret, like, we run the world bullshit.
Okay.
Then they were called Milner's Kindergarten. The one now, that H.W. Poppy Bush, was called the Order of the Rose. And that's why he had...
Oh, there we go. There's
Yeah.
the full circle moment.
That's right. And so the Order of the Rose is not some ain't... I mean, Rosicrucians have been around a while, but...
Wait, how does this relate to the secret societies that they've got at the colleges? Like that all the Bushes were in? Like, what is it? The Skull and Bones?
That's
Skull and
all
Bones,
the
yeah.
Order of the Rose. Dude, so it's like Serenios feed people to Mexican
Okay.
mafia if they make the cut.
Okay.
Right? It's just that. It's just that shit. It's mafias within mafias.
Okay.
And
if
Skull
you're-
and Bones, that's where the kids go to get whatever butt to become a leader.
And if you're good in Skull and Bones, you might get into the next step up, which
Yeah, right.
is
The Order
Yeah.
of the Rose.
Well,
So it's like
but
a
wait,
feeder
wait.
system for the Order of the Rose, no?
Order of the Rose was just the name of the criminal enterprise they had formed. Okay? But they were all members of all these stupid fucking groups. So he's a Freemason and a Rosicrucian and a whatever gay thing and a Knight of Columbus. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That it's not that important, the name of the group at all. What's important is you've got a pyramid structure where people can move up the structure.
Yeah.
Each level thinks they know something, but they don't. It's compartmentalized.
More enlightened than the last, sure.
Yeah, and there's people that know dark shit that would never use words like illumined or illuminated. It's like an illumined one is like you're the top of your stupid secret thing.
Yeah.
That's all it means. Like Illuminati is like saying the glitterati for movie stars.
Yeah.
It's kind of a catch-all term, you know?
Sure. No, a lot of that makes sense. I mean, being able to connect the dots like that,
It's just the mafia.
you start
Like
pulling
mafia.
the one thread. Because I was like really fascinated with the Skull and Bones Secret Society.
Why do they have that? Look, it's not anything in. There's not any great insight here. There's stuff that 5 minutes of taking a shit and googling. You just go like, why are you doing
I'm just
this?
gonna ask Grok, dude.
Well,
I'm sure
Grok will
would-
lie to you. I don't trust none of these things because they call it hallucinating, right? When the AI just tells you lies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I don't believe for a second
Dude.
the AI is doing that. I think the AI, they've purposely done something like, oh, it's telling you a lie because it's not alive. They got to sell
but
you
it's
on that.
It's just
Programmed by
algorithmic
humans.
learning. It's not even.
Yeah.
AI,
I'll bet
really.
they put purposeful lies in there to pretend it's coming alive in a way, you know?
I did the most interesting deep dive. God damn it, I'm off topic. Well, not that this whole thing hasn't been off topic,
gonna
but
say.
I did the most interesting deep dive, like asking AI, is gender a social construct?
And what did they say?
Yes. And then I asked it to explain, has it always been considered a
No, it
social
has not.
contract? No, it has not. It
No,
used
John
to
Money.
just be a synonymous term with sex.
So I thought I was wrong about that when I first started hearing this drivel that gender and sex are two. They are not. They have never been. The person who came up with that is a fucking dipshit pervert named John Money, who I saw a 60 Minutes special about when I was only in 6th grade, and I never forgot because it was so fucked up. Some kid. So John Money's idea was that gender is performative.
Right.
Some real Nazi fucking program shit.
Gender is assigned, essentially, and
So
it's
he
taught and
couldn't
it's
wait
learned.
oh, by the way, he was a child molester, so that's why he was so fascinated with that. Just out of, if you're wondering. But the special I saw as a kid that I never forgot was this poor kid. They botched his circumcision and fucked his dick up, so that John Money goes, "Why don't we just turn him into a girl?" Because he had a theory that if you force someone to be a girl, they're a girl. Okay.
If you give them the right conditional learning. Yeah.
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 So
And
he
guess
tried to
what?
trans this child.
Oh, and also,
Damn.
they're maybe he had a twin brother. The brother had to go, and now years later we learned he was like.
There's a movie about this, like
Yeah.
very
Dude, that guy, the poor fucker that I saw on this thing who just lived with animals in a trailer in the woods, and he's like, I like my animal friends because they don't judge me. I remember as a kid being like, this is the most fucked up shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It depressed me, like when I saw Metallica's video for One. It's like where I was disturbed for like a long time from it because I was young. And anyway, years later, when tards with college educations who just swallowed this nonsense.
It wasn't invented until the 50s.
Okay, so I was like, oh, I guess I just didn't know because I didn't go to fucking
Well, it's because you're intolerant, Kurt.
gender queef studies. I didn't learn. So then I find out this thing that disturbed me as a kid was invented by this who did that. And
Well, there were a few people.
no, they're all basic, but he's
Kinsey,
he's the guy.
as well,
patient
from the
zero.
Kinsey Institute.
That
yeah.
piece of shit. Oh, McKinsey. Yo, the
Maybe he
Kinsey,
popularized it more so. Maybe this John Money guy.
It was his big idea to push it.
Okay.
They're all degenerate perverts, and I mean that in the worst sense. When you look up, you're like, why is anybody telling me that I should listen to anything these jerk off? You know, if I already didn't believe the Bible,
But
why would I believe some ass from some college?
But this is the same cult thinking of when people look back at Joseph Smith and they're like, why did anyone believe this
Yeah, that guy
guy?
was
He's a terrible
bonkers.
person.
you know,
Crazy.
don't laugh at them people if
Yeah.
you think that gender's a construct, because
But
you're
it's the
dumber
same-
than a Mormon.
It's the same thing. You're just
You are
programmed.
dumber than a Joseph Smith follower if you fucking
saw
think
salamanders.
gender
I
and
don't-
sex are different things. You're a dipshit. It was one of their weird magic spells that changed reality. It didn't
Yeah,
work
but
out.
couldn't it have just been like the evolution of science too? You know, like we just
No, it's
discovered
not.
some new shit.
Well, it could
and
have been if
we're
it
gonna-
was that, but
we're
it
gonna
wasn't,
repurpose
so
the
no.
gender word. You know, I mean, it could just be that.
That's a magic spell. That's literally, you know, it's called spelling because it's like a spell. Like that's why they got that. The priest used to be the guy that could read, not you.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
That's a
makes sense.
magic power to be able to store information outside your fucking head.
Yeah.
That's why they had a priest class. That's what pervert versus fascist means. There's a corrupt priest class inbreeding a bunch of royals that they control. That goes back a long time.
Oh yeah, back to the Mayans and the Aztecs.
The Aztecs, Oxford University was around when the Aztecs were around. It's not that old.
It's not.
That goes back to. What I don't get is who gave those codes to the priests to mind control people. Who gave them the one weird trick to make her open
You
her
don't
legs?
think that naturally appears when, like, you know,
No,
guys
you're-
who are con men show up, that they naturally figure out how
but
to
you're
trick
still
people?
that's an order of being a con man on that level is like an extra order of magnitude above being a fucking like a little furry rodent that steals. I mean, like that's like a lot of advanced thinking, a lot of sudden advanced thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's independent of something at all. I think there's some sort of creator thing at work. I don't know what it is, but I don't believe at all that it's just pure chance.
Dude, what if that's the only reason the aliens came down was like basically to teach humanity how to con
We're the only animals that
other
do it.
people?
No, they come down.
Well, no, I mean,
Listen.
there's trickery in the animal kingdom. I think.
There's
but-
like,
you don't
I think
call-
I'm
look-
going to give you this and then I don't, but there's not like
I
long
think calling it
plans
aliens-
Exactly,
of
yeah.
Yo.
fucking people's minds up.
I think calling it aliens is dumb. Just like when they're like, oh, it's demons, right? I think that's a stupid way to look at it. I would just assume like the Hat Man has different hats in
Sure.
different countries. I don't get hung up on what kind of hat the Hat Man has. There's a larger question.
he's
you know?
just the Hat Man.
Why does he
it
appear to
can change.
everyone?
The
That's
hat
the
can
larger
change
question.
depending on your subconscious, right?
Well, it's the same thing with DMT. You take DMT, and there's
Yeah.
specific characters that you're going to see.
I saw a purple lady my first time.
Matt McCusker saw a jester that just bullied him and said he wasn't funny.
I was like, lizards
that was
and
me.
stuff.
Lizards.
You
were the jester.
You're not funny. I had a great hat. I was wearing lipstick as I do when I see McCusker.
Hey, we all have our things.
Yeah, the jester thing is a bully generally, but there's
Yeah.
supposed to be archetypes or whatever. But
Right? Yeah, just to bring your ego down.
I like because Chris Chan, the freak from online, the most documented human who's ever lived.
What?
You know
No.
about this?
Chris Chan?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, she goes by Christ Chan now. You never heard of
Dude,
that?
what are you? Where? What corners of
put
the
it up on
internet
the
are y'all
screen somehow?
going to?
I was just thinking that. I was like, there's going to
What?
be people watching this that are like, they just said Christian.
I'm telling you, old ass shit, dude. Chris Chan is like from like the early Daniel Tosh era.
Christian
Okay,
Westland-
well, also
Westland
like remember,
Chandler.
I was homeschooled in a
Yes.
cult until I was 18,
So,
and so
okay.
what is that?
the most trolled.
Whoa, what's that middle
Christian
picture, Josh?
Weston
What?
Chandler.
That's the
Okay.
same person?
Yeah.
It's the most trolled human being who's ever existed. Now, why
Okay.
is there no Netflix about it? Well, it's because, and there should be, because this is anthropologically speaking one of the most significant things that's ever happened. I think
Okay.
he's an inverse Christ. Like he is the
The Antichrist, potentially?
one of them, like the singularity where the technology. What happens when our technology we become the sum of all?
Yeah.
This thing is what we.
That's what it
become.
is.
Instead of like Christ born of a virgin, this guy his senile mother.
Whoa.
I'm spoiler alert. Here's how the story ends.
Did that actually happen?
Graped.
Did you see
Yeah, he
this?
went to prison.
This fucking
She,
medallion is
sorry.
called
Yeah.
a sonnet shoe. So she pointed out too, he made this comic. He went online. He exploded onto the scene in 2012 with a video about how.
Oh, I was already out of the cold. I have no excuse.
Could you put Chris Chan anti-gay? Just see. I just want. So this guy appears
Just for
online.
your own well-being, you need to see.
Videos, his anti-gay speech.
What?
Let's see.
Oh, they're not going to have anything. They're
Well,
gonna
just
all
give
be
me
long
your
videos
version of
that-
it, Kurt. I mean,
yeah.
everything that
He
you've
goes on
explained
and
so
he gives
far
this
has
whole
been,
thing about how. So it's a guy with a stripy shirt. You see him here, and he's wearing this like Play-Doh. It's Sonic and Pikachu he mixed together.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like an AI. He's
Okay.
like not making real art.
This was my point. He's like AI art. He doesn't make anything original. He's like an amalgamation of everything that's already existed in the
Yeah.
world, and it filters through his autistic body and comes out. And that's what AI is, and why nothing AI.
I mean, it's kind of the
creates is
same as
original.
everybody, but
this guy's Grok?
It's just he's
Crazy.
Grok. He just
yeah,
mashes
he's
everything
an early
together.
Grok.
So
And
he's
wait. He
racist.
believes shit
Yeah.
people tell him, no matter
Yeah.
what. So people
Yes.
would troll him. I mean, they've been trolling him. He's the most trolled human that's ever lived. He's trans because somebody at one point told him you have no responsibility for your actions if you're trans.
what?
He
You know,
just
like-
took that at face
And
value.
he goes, "All right, I'm
Yeah.
going to do that."
So he
now he
transitioned.
believes. Now he believes a lesbian identified man. Jesus.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait. He now believes that he is Christ, and his dimensional merge of all his characters from everything he's ever seen is real. There's like an imaginary dimension. And if you listen to what he's saying, it's amazing because at one point, you know, he's so autistic. So when he had to graduate high school, that's when life went downhill for him. Because in school, he was like, I don't know, better for him. So Count Graduan is the bad guy in this comic book he would make. Count Graduan.
Oh,
'Cause
the
he-
graduation.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
nice.
so now
That's
you're
his
looking at
downfall of
Clever.
his world.
yeah,
Yeah,
you're watching an AI develop religion, kind of. You know, like
Just
so you
with
can see the
sensory
abstract
input,
concept.
yeah.
He takes the abstract concept. This is where my problems come from. He creates a character in a shitty comic, and now he thinks he's Christ, and that's in his religion, Count Graduan. And I mean,
It's an
like,
AI.
yeah,
Count Graduan is now like the deity of his religion?
no,
No, it's a villain.
Oh,
no,
okay.
he's the
That's
deity.
the devil
Yeah.
He's,
of the
he's
religion.
really like a kind of Gnostic.
Okay.
He's Christ. His name is Christ Chan Sonichu Magichu, I believe,
Yeah.
at this point.
I think he's going by Christine at the moment because instead of
Christine.
Christine, it's Christine.
You never heard of this?
No, dude. None of it, bro.
Well, it
I would
only
love
takes-
to be able to add something productive to this conversation, but instead I'm just like, what? He's
You're gonna
autistic
have to
and
learn.
God?
Oh, this is the best part.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe in LGBTQ because he doesn't like gay men, right? So he believes
So he
in
calls it the LBT
LBT.
community.
Probably because he got
That's
called
the
gay
G.
so much, dude.
No, he wasn't. This goes back a long way. You're compressing a lot of shit. This is like a process from 2012 to now.
Does it go back to the Order of the Rose? That's literally all I care about at this point.
Well, here's how it might.
Okay.
I
Bush
don't
created
believe
this guy.
that these kind of people are an accident. They've known about the effects of these chemicals they put in shit for many years.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if you think about this kind of dude or any kind of spurg you see out doing computer, or these kids that swap people or
Yeah.
hack people,
Yeah.
you're creating these creatures that can't get laid, so they're not distracted from their computer work. They love products.
Yep.
They love those stupid Funko Pop dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, but they're good at math.
Going to Disneyland. Yeah.
Oh,
Disney adults. Think of that.
dude.
The mascot rules at
I
Disney.
had a bit about Disney adults that I had
Okay,
to stop
you know
doing.
people that wear that shit? Why?
What?
Why did you stop doing it?
Well, because I'm not famous enough to get away with it yet, Kurt.
The fuck does that mean?
Well, I
You work there still? Well, they're still my employer, so I can't.
look, dude, I put the medal on the Nazi, okay? Like, what don't you understand?
So those outfits you wear in Florida heat, right?
Yeah.
Your performers can, if you got to puke, you puke in the mask.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
cannot take the head off.
So it's really
when
like
you're at
Unless
Disneyland.
you can make it down to the tunnel. And
now
puke,
think of
because
this:
they've got
all
the
these
tunnels.
disgusting furries that are autistic. They're good with computers.
Yep.
They have a hard time mating unless they're rubbing a fursuit. They want to be in a sweaty mascot outfit. It turns them on.
They're not comfortable
They don't
being
want to take it off.
themselves. Yeah, they have to be another character.
Well, think of how useful they are. They're an AI. So, they're building AI. Well, they're also simultaneously, that's what the Order of the Rose was doing, making you into a fucking AI.
You can't spell autistic without AI. That's merch.
I mean, I wouldn't dare try.
That is merch.
That's merch.
He just gave you a good merch idea.
Yeah.
You can't spell autistic without AI.
Oh, well, see, put it out.
That's my, honestly,
Speak it into existence.
can you please just say that my nickname is now AI?
Asian intelligence?
Is that what you want
Do
to
you
hear?
believe in AI, Asian intelligence? It's real and it's coming for all of us.
Jenna, when did you start doing drugs?
At 13.
No way. Wait, did you ever go down the rabbit hole on drugs, Kurt?
When I left Jehovah's Witnesses,
Did you really?
I was like 20 though.
Like to the same extent that Jenna and I did?
He went worse in some sense.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, in some ways worse, but
But do you think it opened your mind a lot? Made you impervious to some of the conditioning that otherwise might have affected you?
well, marijuana. If you look up the MK Ultra shit, they don't like people smoking marijuana because it broke amnesiac barriers down,
Yeah.
which is weird because I forget what I'm saying a lot. But they didn't like it because of that, and everybody who's in those programs were like, do all the coke you want, but don't smoke weed. And if you think about why weed was illegal for so long,
Well, your body needs the cannabinoids. Like literally, you have a
it does.
system in your
Vitamin
body.
C, that's right.
I'm learning right now because
Okay.
this is not something that I
Most
knew.
people
What?
here,
Yeah.
most people are under mass mind control. I know it sounds far-fetched, but it's not. It's obvious.
Well, I mean, if you loosely define mind
Crowd
control,
control.
it makes total sense.
Let's
Yeah.
call it crowd. Yeah. Well, how do people define it? I don't know. But blue light from your TV, hypnotic phrases repeated over and over again. So when I talk to people and they parrot nonsense at me
Yeah.
that they saw, that's what mind control is.
Yeah.
It's advertising.
It's
is-
brainwashing. It's diet brainwashing, but brainwashing nonetheless.
Oh, also in Kathy O'Brien's book, and Kay Griggs, another person who would talk about the weird gay supper clubs at college.
Yeah.
And her husband was in like the Cherry Marines, it was called, because they were all doing this weird gay shit you'd hear from a hazing.
Well, that's a tale as old as time.
Yeah, just
She said their
fraternities.
tech, now this is from the 90s, this shit. Their tech is 40 to 60 years ahead of what we have. And she said that George H.W. Bush, and it was something set up in the room in the White House, and a device he had that he could make it look like he was a reptilian. He could hit a thing and do some holographic effect
What?
of some kind. Hold on. That where he looks like a reptilian.
Why?
Because I'm telling you why. Because they did psychological studies and they found that people have a primal fear about snakes and reptiles. So if you ever thought the reptile alien thing sounded kind of Star Trek-y, like kind of like someone did market research to come up with what a spooky alien is,
Yeah.
which I thought, that's why. So they would plan on this shit for quite some time. And read Transformation of America and Kay Griggs' book. I don't know what it's called, but you can find her interviews. They're old. Fuck all QAnon bullshit. Dude, these people came out in the 90s and testified in front of Congress about this shit. They never stopped doing MK Ultra. I don't know what it's called now. I call it MK Reach. But the mass rollout, they don't got to put a chip in your head. They don't got to put a chip in your head. Most people don't know shit about shit.
This is the biggest cult there is that no one even pays attention to.
Yeah, it's called America. Every war we had was a mass blood sacrifice to the fucking death. What do you think that was? What do you think those
Damn,
wars were?
dude.
That was a mass. So you worried that they drink a baby? Oh, they drank a baby. I say we give them one baby a year to drink.
Oh, to satiate them.
Yeah, so they
It's
don't
not
go
enough.
over there
It's
and
not
kill
gonna- it's-
200,000.
They're not going to be satisfied.
It's
with
not
one
going to
baby.
be enough.
There's no way.
Yeah.
It's not going to be enough. And that's some.
The reptilian thing, though, that's kind of crazy. Like if you really think about that.
If that's true, that's insane.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's more likely that there's Star Trek reptile aliens, or these pieces of shit have some tech where they're like, we want people to think crazy shit. What do you think's more likely?
Do you think like there's a
Or
way?
they give someone drugs so that they think they're seeing them push
There
a
you
button
go.
and
There's the
turn
Hat
into a
Man shit, right?
reptile.
Yeah.
I give you drugs.
I
so you
think they
I have this
absolutely,
tech.
they absolutely had the hologram shit back then. Absolutely, they had laptops in the 70s, dude.
I mean, and if you look at like the progression of humans, like you look at a picture from back in the, 1800s, right? What those people look like back then versus what we look like now. I mean, there's definitely been
They were a lot whiter.
a drift towards
It was a
Then you
little
look at
reptile
brown now.
features.
Yeah, then you look at Christian.
Is that what you're trying to say?
No, dude.
I think I know what you're trying to say. It's a little bit too brown. Maybe we should cut this because I mean I understand what you're saying, but I wouldn't have said it like that. I'm being honest. I think it's a little racist.
I really appreciate you clarifying like a lot of what I'm trying to say here, Kurt. You know what I mean?
I like to steel man someone's argument.
Yeah.
know, I
Yeah.
don't-
Straw man, dude. Yeah, I really need to know what you thought about the new Snow White.
Well, they put all the blame on the one. So think of what Disney's been doing for years. They've been producing annoying, big-headed girls like that bitch that played Snow White. I don't blame her. Yo, I don't blame that girl one bit for being a big-head Puerto Rican. That's her
She's not
prerogative.
even Puerto Rican.
Oh,
I believe she is.
that's
What? No, I thought she was Venezuelan.
Okay, well, it's appropriation.
Josh, look it up, please. I have
Then
to be
she's
right
guilty
about
of
this.
appropriation.
The
Who gives-
underbite is crazy, though.
Well, they just cook a bad picture of her. With like,
No, dude.
like
no.
Popeye. Did you see a Popeye
No,
picture?
there's so many
Okay,
examples.
so she goes. Everybody hates her
Oh,
guts.
please be
Rachel
Venezuelan.
Zegler.
Oh, God.
I think she's Puerto Rican and German.
No, she played. She was in Spielberg's version of.
Well,
West
don't
Side
tell
Story.
it. Like, you're saying
Okay.
is.
No, she's
I was
not.
just
And
gonna-
ethnicity. Type
Listen,
ethnicity.
there we
she's
go.
not
Correct her.
Puerto Rican.
There we go.
She's not Puerto Rican.
Colombian.
Colombian and Polish.
I was
Colombian and
closer than
Polish.
Puerto Rico,
Okay,
for sure.
she's Colombian.
Yeah, you were.
Colombian. Or Polish, if you will.
She's a Kolak. Anyway, so they put all the blame. Yo, so let me tell you something. If this girl has
She
Hermione,
looks beautiful. You guys are haters.
I wouldn't be into it. But she has Hermione energy. You know the bitch that plays Hermione.
Yeah.
Doing is like, when I
What's her
was
name?
like,
Emma Watson? Or
yeah,
Yeah,
like
Emma
she
Watson.
married herself recently. That kind of chick.
Did she really?
No.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
should
Yeah, no, look at that. Okay, Josh, second row, third picture in. That is,
Predator. Alien?
look at the underbite, dude.
You know she has got a jaw of the predator. Well, look, I don't want to look.
Even that one.
I've done worse than her. I'm not going to judge her looks.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. No, I would still,
She's beautiful. Yeah.
not even in a pinch. Like, I'm saying, like, would go.
I mean, it would be like
She's nice.
getting blown by Peter Dinklage having her go down on you with that big head. She got a good pushing head. Okay? And that's what Snow. Okay, wait. So, wait. All right. See, I didn't want to do this.
Why
this is
would
your
you bring
fault.
up Snow White? You
Okay,
shouldn't
wait,
have
wait.
done this.
I have a point. It's not just immaturity from me.
Okay.
So this girl, because she said the original Snow White, and she goes where the prince
It was
kisses her.
misogynist, yeah.
She goes weird. Remember? Mm-hmm. It is weird. But she's not wrong. It's fucking weird as hell. Why are we doing Bavarian folktales to kids? Were that run by Nazis to this day?
Well,
Why are we teaching kids? We fought a war of independence from monarchy, and we're still teaching kids monarchy for some fucking reason. But that aside,
That's a good point, actually.
they got rid of the midgets, not because she said it, because Sir Peter Dinklage said a comment.
yeah, that he thought it was
So
disrespectful.
he doesn't want
yeah.
any other midget to work ever again. He's a piece of shit for that. They all hate him.
Yeah.
He's
It's
the
like,
last
oh,
one in the little door.
Boy, you're going to pull the fucking stool up, piece of shit. No, I know, dude, every midget knows each other. I don't know if you know that. They're the one minority that knows each other. And dwarves are the war midget, as David tells us.
Oh, yeah.
Because dwarves are the war midget.
Dude, well, that, I mean, like,
but they took the midgets out, right?
Brad knows my buddy Clinton,
Yeah, of course.
and they're both little guys.
And Nikki Kovicki knows them all, and little Jay Leno they all know each other because they go to conventions.
Okay.
You never see a homeless dwarf, and you never.
What
will.
about Bridget?
What about her?
I mean, everyone technically knows her. Bridget the midget.
Is she homeless?
No. She's
Yeah, you'll never see
an
it.
adult actress.
yeah.
That's why the Norse thought it was lucky to have a dwarf because they're always going to be rich, and because they can work. There's a lot of uses for them. Okay. So they get rid of that part of the story, and they're like going to make it like the 7 bandits or non-binaries or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And so the photos leak, and everybody starts making fun of them. They go, "No, that was just for the CGI."
Well, we're just testing. Don't worry about it.
By the way, dwarfs and dwarves are two different things. Dwarfs are a plural of the real person who's got dwarfism.
Right.
Dwarves are Tolkien. They're fantasy characters. Dwarves,
It's a made up word.
Oh,
Like gender.
The dwarves
oh, that's
in
a
Snow
Lord of the Rings thing?
the dwarf. Well, it's from folklore. The dwarves in Snow White are not the same as real life people with dwarfism.
Right.
They are a magical creature.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. I see where you're
So
going.
there was
with
no,
this.
but
yes.
of course, MK Reed is in Mass Effect, so no one knows anything about anything.
But the only one that could theoretically play this fantastical creature would be an actual person with
you
dwarfism.
could get regular people. John Rhys Davis.
That's so true in Lord of the Rings. Yeah,
It wasn't an issue.
Yeah, but when they had to do a wide shot, they did have to get an actual little person or a
They could
child.
also just have kids.
I don't think.
Well,
I think he did. Well, whatever. Anyway, so
that might be problematic.
So her running her dumb yap the way she did, Disney has been training girls to do that since I was a kid. They have to sell princess shit to people, and it's not really feminist to be a breeding slave who can't fart in public, right?
Right.
So they have to find new ways to right? It's not
that
feminist.
one got me.
I can't keep a straight face when you put it that way.
It's not feminist. So, but I sell princess crap. So what all Disney does is, Star Wars is about princesses. Everything's about princesses.
Yeah.
Because they make their money off that. But they got to sell it as someone.
But now
she's
they're
a princess.
outspoken princesses.
She can shoot a bow and arrow. So that's what they've been selling, and so everybody turns on this girl. Now the reason it's all being blamed on that girl is because she said "Free Palestine."
That did happen.
So-
yeah. But
so
I don't.
Disney-
You really think that's the?
Of course, first of all, it was
Interesting.
they had to unload this. Everybody knows it sucks. But by the way, all the politics of this is far more interesting than any of the actual stories they're telling.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like the back end, the behind the scenes of Star Wars is so much more fascinating, that Game of Thrones shit, than actual Star Wars.
This went a completely different direction, obviously. I mean, we'll probably have to do some sort of follow-up.
Yeah.
But I mean, wow, what a fucking education. I thought I thought Matt McCusker blew my mind. Kurt Metzger blew my
I did
fucking
their show.
mind.
I did his brother. His brother's got a great show called War Mode.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
And certain weird shit I found out, like they know the people and like help them move and shit.
Yeah.
This guy Mark Passio, who does, you should look him up. He's great. He was in LaVey Church of Satan. He was a priest, so he had a grotto in Philly, and he gives a whole lecture on what it's all about. Because these leaders are not Satanists. Like Satanism is like hot topic bullshit.
Yeah.
It's it's corny, right?
They're humanists.
I remember my atheist period. I didn't worship a goat head.
No, that's what I'm saying.
I
yeah.
would just fuck. I didn't light candles. I didn't put on a robe. I didn't do all this. I didn't have to wear a costume. I was like,
I mean,
I'm
you
just
missed
gonna
out
live
on a
my-
lot of cool shit.
Is it
All
that
the
cool?
fun.
It seems.
I mean, listening to death metal and wearing the robes, pretty
I
sick.
fucking hate death metal. When am I going to listen to it?
Says the guy in the Hannibal director.
Well, that was my death metal band, but we were making
I thought it was ska.
death ska.
Death ska.
Have you ever heard that?
A very little, very niche
dude,
genre.
Yeah.
It sucks. Yo, imagine death metal and ska together.
Just running in a chaotic circle.
It's like I don't know. It's like something that sucks, and you put raisins in it.
It already sucks, and it's like, maybe raisins.
That was already
screaming and
really
trumpets. It's
irritating. But then on top of it,
yeah.
these little turds of disappointment. The ska's the raisins, I would say. The cookie base is the death metal.
Okay, cool. You know, Kurt, this has just been such a hilarious conversation, and I learned
Yo,
so much
guys,
about Jehovah's Witness.
KurtMetzgerComedy.com is where you can come see my
Check
show.
it out.
My show's not about that.
Jenna, do you have anything you'd like to mention
Yes.
before we shut down?
Check out the Bad Art Show on YouTube and Patreon and all those things.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
The Bad Art Show.
The Bad Art Show.
Got it. Where can people follow you aside from that? Anything?
Instagram, it's 2_ Jenna Sparrow 2_.
It's about bad stuff in art. It's not a bad show about art. Although
it's kind of
I
both.
do try to ruin it.
Yeah.
I do try to ruin the show. I do the show and I disrupt it constantly.
Well, that's
I have
that
I
is
have a
why you're the
3 claw
bad boy
book.
of comedy, Kurt.
Yeah.
I stand by
Good
that.
boy.
When I'm
Best boy.
I'm the best boy of
boy.
comedy. I take 3 claw. I got a 3 claw buzz, and I destroy Jenna's show that people pay for.
And now Davey's show.
And I'm sorry, and I apologize. Can
At
you
least-
forgive me?
Well, at least you do that, you know?
Yeah,
at
at
least you're
least I did
self-aware about it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were there, you know?
Yeah, no, it's like a class where you're learning, and then I disrupt. The
You just
class.
firebomb the whole thing.
Well, I had 3 claws.
He should have gotten suspended a while ago. If this was a real school, I would have kicked him.
Yeah.
I found, like, in all seriousness, like, even though it was a completely different direction than I thought we were going to go, like, holy shit. Like there's some
5
stuff in
minutes of
here
research on the shit
that I definitely cannot put on YouTube.
Most of it you can't. I ruined your show.
Yeah.
You first of all,
Yes.
this T-shirt you got to blur out because you are going to get some shit for this. Just so you know,
The T-shirt, dude.
the guy who made it for me was getting shit, and because they don't, dude, I don't think they want you to
You'll
even
be
see
fine.
this word.
You'll be fine. It's a metal band. Everyone calm down.
It's just a ska metal band. All right, everyone relax.
Sketh metal.
Scott. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something cool.
Yeah,
There's something cool.
Sketh metal. There's a little bit of a reggae beat to our death metal.
Well, I mean, it's clear that Jenna is controlling you, Kurt. I mean, that's what's happening here.
I know, and I don't.
This is the
I
monarch.
pray to Jesus that he can free me from this bondage, but so far nothing.
I mean, it's a pretty cool arrangement, you know?
A standard heterosexual relationship. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I like it. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have a dick, and we hang out. It's pretty cool. You know, whatever.
Nah, she's hypnotized you into that, dude.
Is that?
It's so clear to me right now.
It's a construct that I don't like dicking of. It's just a construct.
She really got you, dude.
It's performative mostly.
Have you checked into whether she's related to Bush?
No, I never suspected for a minute.
Okay.
She's got a pirate name. Jenna Sparrow. She's pirate trash. She's not connected to great men like George H.W. Bush.
No
We're
skull and bones.
Some people with one leg, one arm.
Yeah.
You know,
Phenomenal.
people missing parts.
Boating accidents. Yeah.
Lot of outboard motor.
A lot of high
accidents.
seas activity. Insane. So I'm sorry, Kurt. I went straight to Jenna without even asking you. Like, is there anything you want to mention? Stuff coming up.
Yeah, go to KurtMetzgerComedy.com where my road shows are.
Hell yeah.
And then otherwise I live in Austin, and you could see me at, the local, whatever the comedy places.
It's so crazy how demure you get when you're like plugging yourself.
Yeah, I hate it. I don't like
Yeah,
it.
I know.
I thought he was just going to plug Tragedy and Hope and be like, read that book.
No one, you look,
Guys,
I'm telling you, that book's legit.
He's the
scholar
good
book.
boy. He's the best boy of comedy.
Yes.
B.O.I.
He's your favorite comic's favorite comic. And he's
Who's your
being
favorite
mind
comic?
controlled by Jenna Sparrow.
Yeah,
Thank you
well,
so
The
much
real
for being here, y'all. I
mastermind. Yeah.
appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to whatever we end up with after all of the insane cuts I'm going to have to make.
Google
for
the
this.
Hannibal Directive. Check out some new kind of music. I know it doesn't sound like your cup of tea,
Right,
but we're adding rap to it.
We'll see you next week, y'all. We love you. Bye.
It's rap ska metal.